Alright guys, so today we're going to take a look at the brand new drop Sennheiser PC38X. Now this is an open back pair of gaming headsets that comes in retailing at $170. It is available on Drop's website as of today, and I will have a link to that in the description. I have had these for almost a month now, so I've definitely put them through their paces. And if you're like me and you're kind of familiar with what Drop and Sennheiser has put out in the past, I initially thought this was just going to be a newer version of the PC37X, which was already a very popular gaming headset. But honestly, after testing the 38X for the past month, I can easily say that this is even a step above the PC37X. But let's go ahead and check out some of the specs, some of the features, what it is you get inside the box, and see if it's worth that $170 price tag. Now, as far as looks wise, when you initially look at this, the headset overall still looks like the PC37X, although the PC38X has yellow accents on it, and it actually uses a mesh grill on the outside of the ear cups. The overall build is a very plastic build. When you pick it up, it really doesn't feel like there's a whole lot to it. It is an open back pair of headphones or headset, so do keep that in mind. If you're somebody that's going to use these in an environment where there are other people around, everything that you're listening to, these people will be able to hear as well, and vice versa. Anything going on around you, you're more than likely going to hear through the headset. It's not like your normal closed back pair of headphones, but again, that also adds to the listening experience while using these, but we'll talk about that a little bit later when we talk about the sound. Now, moving back over to looking at the headset, one of the other differences is the padding in the headband. It is now sectioned off into two pieces, which just makes it a little bit more comfortable right there at the crown of your head. Now, as far as the ear pads on here, I actually prefer these over the velour ear pads that are on the original 37X. It's something about the fabric material that's on here that, in my opinion, make them feel a little bit more breathable. But if you are a fan of the original velour ear pads, you're still in luck, because inside the box, they have included a set of velour ear pads if you want to switch these out, which is very easy to do on this headset. And also in the box, you do get a drop carrying pouch. It's not really going to protect these too much, but it will keep them from scratching if you're going to throw them in a bag. Now, as far as the cables included in the box, you do get two different cables. Obviously, they are removable. You have one that's just a single cable so that you can plug it into your phone, into your tablet, into your PlayStation or Xbox controller, or anything that just uses a normal 3.5mm headphone jack. Now, as far as the other cable goes, it's one that you're going to use on your PC or your Mac because it has the split cable where you plug one into the headphone jack and then the other one into the mic input. So it is nice that it gives you all of these options right out of the box. So if you're somebody like me that games on PC, but also likes to game on a Switch or the PlayStation, this is a headset that really can just be used for whatever. Now, as far as the functionality on the headset itself, you do have a volume wheel on the right side. It allows you to just control volume all on the headset instead of having to go to your console or your PC, and really that is very convenient. Now, on the left-hand side, you do have a microphone that is non-removable, and this is one of the design things I'm not a huge fan of on this headset, because I feel like the microphone just in general is very large. Now, this is the same microphone that they use on the PC37X, or at least I think it is. I didn't notice any differences here. I think this is one of the best sounding microphones on a gaming headset, but you guys could be a judge by listening to a test here. Alright guys, so here is a mic test using the PC38X. Like I said, I think this is one of the best microphones on a gaming headset, let alone any microphone on any kind of headphone or earbud. I think it does a very good job of picking up my voice. I do feel like it does lack a little bit when it comes to bass tones, but as far as clarity goes, I think this is one of the best ones you're going to find. So now let's talk about the sound, because I feel like the sound is what definitely separates these from the original PC37X, because they did upgrade the drivers in here and they're using the same ones that are used in the GSP 500 and 600, which I have reviewed on the channel and I was a huge fan of. But you can definitely tell they're not tuned the same because there are a lot more details that are coming out of the PC38X compared to the GSP600. It sounds very close to some of Sennheiser's more high-end headphones, especially comparable to a lot of their open back headphones. So I'm very used to the sound that these have. You can definitely tell that the bass is a lot more punchier. It does have an impact to it, but it's still extremely tight. It's not loose in any way. It doesn't feel like it just kind of rolls over any of your other frequencies because the mids, in my opinion, are done excellent in here. Picking up vocals and subtle details are done extremely well, and that's important if you're going to be gaming. But on top of that, even for watching movies, hearing dialogue and hearing a lot of little subtle things that usually get buried, these pick up on very well. Now, as far as the treble, same thing goes here. They are very detailed. They're tuned up to the point where some people might consider them to be a little bright, especially if you're going to be listening to them at higher volumes. But speaking of higher volumes, another thing that I think they've done really well is the PC38X has a lower impedance level, so it's much easier to drive. It's not really necessary that you need to use an amp. It definitely can still benefit from you using it, but you can plug this straight into your phone and get some pretty decent volume levels out of them. Even using these on the PS4 controller, which usually kind of lacks in volume, these did a great job with. I still, again, at times think that they needed another notch or two when it came to volume, but overall this is a very big improvement over the PC37X, and then just in general it's a big improvement over a lot of other open back headphones that usually require a lot more power. Now, one of the biggest reasons you would be interested in these is the sound stage and the sound imaging. Obviously, being an open back headphone, you're going to feel like you're in a much larger environment, but these definitely felt like you're dropped in whatever game you were playing. The environment felt very large. It was very easy to hear where details and footsteps were coming from, and it just made you feel like you were in that environment. And really, that's what you want out of a gaming headset. Now, as far as some of my cons with these, I really only have two. One is the color scheme of these. I think the black and yellow, I don't know that a lot of people are going to be a fan of. It doesn't bother me at all. In fact, I like the look of it. The color is still pretty subtle because it's behind that mesh grill, and then it's, you know, on the microphone, which a lot of people don't even pay attention to that. And then my only other con is I wish the mic was removable. I can't stress enough that if it weren't for that microphone, I would easily use this as my everyday headphone, except, you know, on the go because they're an open back pair of headphones, and that would just annoy the hell out of everybody around me. But those, in my opinion, are definitely subtle gripes, and I think this is an excellent value at $170, especially considering that you can use these as your all-around headphone. But guys, that's my video on the brand new drop Sennheiser PC38X. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.